Okay, so first the whiskey. So let's move to Islay or Eila, and from the south coast of Islay, I think mile away from each other are the best ones. So we are drinking from Artbeck classes, and now we move to Laproik, as they say. They don't say it in a French way; they say it in Finnish way. Laproik. And it's in 40 Let's taste first, and then I'll draw the picture.
Slange. Ah, now I remember. With the Okinawa whiskey, kari. That's what they say in
Okay.
Okinawa. Japan is kampai, but kari.
Yeah. So well, you said that you are not so interested in history. For me, I think history is kind of nice to know kind of information. It's nice to know different kind of stuff. But then what is important is that there are these kind of historical transitions and historical things that have happened, what effect on how we do nowadays. So I think that's important history, and then there is nice to know history. And I think in karate there has been so far 3 different phases, which are kind of big phases or waves, or how do you call it? And of course the number 1, basically I'm not actually drawing anything here, I'm just drawing numbers, 1, 2 or 3 or 4. So of course number 1 it was just Okinawa, so or China. So of course karate's roots are in China, and how karate was what kind of karate was happening there in Okinawa. So there was a master, and master had maybe 1 or 2 students, and maybe it was so that one master has 1 kata or maybe 2 katas, and that was kind of their system. And how they created their kata, of course it was kind of realistic fighting based kata. So for some reason they were thinking that okay, for these might be the attacks, and these are my replies for those attacks. And then they were teaching to their students both in Okinawa and China. So it was person to person, and I'm putting my knowledge to this kata, and I'm giving the kata to the next student, and then next master is doing another kata. And then came the second phase, and this is Japanese karate. And Japanese karate, I think it's very different than the original Okinawan karate. Of course, technically it's different, but the knowledge is totally different, and also the teaching methods. Then you started to have big classes, and it started in universities. And what is the main thing is that actually link to the original Okinawan karate for certain historical reasons. I'm not going through them now, but for certain historical reasons, I think the kind of like, what did kata include? It was vanished in this system. So Okinawan karate, the kata was collection of functional techniques from one master, but these techniques were disappeared. Only katas were left here. Maybe some knowledge was passed there, but I think huge amount of information was dropped from here. Yeah. And this dropping was the reason for the next wave of karate. And I think the best karatekas right now in the world, like Hanshi Patrick McCarthy or Jesse Enkam from Sweden, or Jan Abernethy, these modern guys who are actually kind of nowadays seen as some kind of authorities or something like that. Anyway, modern ideas of karate, and many of these modern day teachers, they look back to the Okinawa. So this was what you were saying, that we have spent last 20-25 years quite much time in looking old katas and thinking that what was this movement, what was the purpose of this movement. And 20 years ago it was really kind of opening thing to do. But now when we have done it, we both have been doing it for 20-25 years. For us, it's not anymore new. For us, it's actually starts to be, history, or okay, this was one phase. I have the exactly like you, same like you. I don't want to anymore look that okay, what's really inside in this kata and how it was done 200 years ago. We have no idea how it was done. We have mostly no idea what was the original meaning of it. And the main question is why we should be looking at this. So I think this is much better, this modern karate or modern approach than Japanese karate to study this. But
let's say modern old school, because we kind of get back to what
exactly.
the original thought.
Exactly. But I think the fourth wave should be exactly what actually you described here. So getting back to this number 1, so this is also number 4. I don't know what is the Japanese then number 6.
Also not.
But anyway, so we should get back to this idea. So, and this is exactly what you are doing. So I think this is the ultra modern wave. So it's very good to know the history.
Yeah.
But now we should look forward, and this is exactly what you are doing. So you have all this knowledge. You have Japanese karate knowledge, you have this modern knowledge, you have this view. But now you are in the same point. So you are putting your own knowledge to certain, maybe kata, maybe some other drills. But anyway, you are putting it all together and passing it in the same format as they did in Okinawa. But of course you are in much better position than old Okinawan masters, because you have all this knowledge and you have also the knowledge of old katas. But then you are using this knowledge and you are putting your best ideas to certain katas and like this. So I think this will be fourth wave of karate, and somebody need to be there first. So you are one of the firsts being there. Then hopefully other big players will follow. So what used to be modern from our perspective, and I think still 90% of karatekas in the whole world, they are still practicing Japanese karate. So this is a new and modern thing. Oh my God, in Kushanku kata there are these real applications. But for us, we have been in so many years, so many decades in this part already. So there's nothing new for us, and why we should do it. We should move on to the next level.
Yeah, I can tell from my own point of view, when I go somewhere and teach a seminar, many times, especially when I returned from Australia 20 years ago, it was like, oh, could you come and teach a seminar on Kushanku kata with all the applications and this kata and all these applications. And in the beginning it was kind of easy because I knew the kata, I had some good ideas about applications for pretty much all the moves, and it was easy to go and teach a seminar. But at some point it started to feel more restrictive. In the beginning, kata was something that you could kind of get ideas from, but at some point the kata started to be more of a restrictive factor, that I have to do something in a certain way just because it's done like this in a kata. So creating my own kata, especially those I do mostly for myself, I don't care about if the moves can be found in an old kata. I do it so it's functional and feels good for my body. Then again, for these more simplified, easier versions, then I try to mimic moves that we can find in other katas too.
Yeah.
As long as they're functional. But kata at some point started to feel a bit restrictive.